Satnam and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your channel for grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. As you can see, I am actually broadcasting from my car. I am in Gold Beach, Oregon. It is so beautiful here. And yes, so traveling, but also here to provide this very awesome and powerful content so you guys can understand the energies, the astrological energies that are currently going on. So what we're going to talk about in this video is the astrology for the full moon in Aquarius. I'm going to be showing you the chart and letting you know all of the different qualities and energies that this full moon holds and how it's going to be affecting us both collectively and also individually. And you really have to look at where is Aquarius in my chart, where is Leo in my chart, because these two oppositions are actually really important to look at in order for us to really fully understand the effect of a certain transit or aspect in astrology through the lens of our own individual chart. So it's a very important thing to pay attention to. So before we dive into the reading, I want to share with you a couple of very awesome things that are currently happening, and also coming up, which I'm really excited about. We've got a couple of courses. We got one going on and one coming up that I'm really excited. So I'm going to share the details of that for you. But also I want to say thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you get notified when I go live, when I upload videos or premiere videos. Also, make sure to download my free moon astrology guide, which will tell you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign. It also enters you into my email list, and you get a free moon magic report every week that comes out on Wednesdays that gives you basically the horoscope for the entire week ahead. So if you want to follow me on all socials, it's Channel for Grace. And let's go ahead and dive into what I want to share with you about the current happenings here on the channel. Okay, so on August 22nd, we have a very special astrology school that is going to be premiering. I've done a STARSEED astrology school. I've done an Aquarian Astrology module for different modules for astrology, and this is one of these courses that has been kind of in the back of my mind for a long time, and a topic that I've been asked about quite a bit. Now, you guys know that I teach the Moon Goddess Training, which is a course that goes in depth into lots of different topics, but mostly it's the Moon Goddess. And this energy is so important to recognize and understand in our chart. And I think a lot of us sometimes wonder, what is our archetype in terms of our astrology? Like, which goddess archetype do we embody? And how do we find this in other people's charts? And when you know this energy, it's almost like you know your sacred divine feminine superpowers. And that's what I want to talk about today, because this class is really going to teach you all about that. So we start on August 22nd, and we're going to meet mostly on Thursdays, but the last couple of weeks there was a conflict, a scheduling conflict. So for the last 2 weeks, it's a 6-week course, we're going to be meeting on Fridays. So 2 Friday evenings. It's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and for a couple of hours each of those days. And what we're going to cover. So week 1, we're going to talk about the dark goddess and the shadow frequency within the goddess in our chart. And this includes looking at Medusa, Black Moon Lilith, Hecate, Eris, and more. Week 2, we're going to talk about the light goddess. So you have to talk about the dark and the light energies of the sacred divine feminine. And when we look at the light goddess, the specific astrological bodies that we look at are White Moon Selena, Pallas Athena, among others. Then we're going to dive into the Egyptian asteroids, such as Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, and Set, because there's a beautiful aspect of the story of Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, and Set that is super important for us to understand the cycle of creation, its expression, experimentation, integration, and transcendence. And that's very much a sacred divine feminine process of creativity, of birthing into life. It's like basically like birth, life, death, and rebirth. And understanding this through these asteroids is one of the most powerful things that I've ever like even connected to when I look at someone's chart. We can also look at Hathor asteroid, which also tells us about that sacred divine feminine nurturing mother energy. Hathor is the cow goddess of ancient Egypt, and also the goddess of the stars, the great mother, you know. The Milky Way basically is, you know, a representation of Hathor. And the beautiful temple of Hathor in Egypt is actually the astrology temple. So believe it or not, these like beautiful astrological energies are divinely feminine to begin with. And that energy of being birthed or jumping into a creative project is a feminine aspect, meaning birth really happens with the sacred divine yin. It begins, you know, obviously there's the masculine energy that comes together with the feminine, but the feminine is the one that holds and supports and just like, yeah, births life. So all of these different aspects in your chart can give you so much insight that is just amazing. Then we're going to dive into the archetypes of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And some of the asteroids that we're going to look at and celestial bodies are Vesta, Ceres, and Juno. And you'll notice that a lot of the sacred divine feminine energies in astrology are found within asteroids. So it's kind of like an asteroid, learning all about the asteroids school. Not all the asteroids, there's so many asteroids, but really the ones that I feel are the most important to learn about this sacred divine goddess feminine energy. And then we're going to talk about moon magic, because obviously the moon, the two celestial bodies or planets in astrology that are connected to the sacred divine feminine energy are the moon and Venus. So with the moon, we're going to talk about the cycles of the moon, manifesting with the moon, looking at new and full moons and the whole cycle of the moon, the waxing crest, the crescent, waxing crescent, first quarter square, gibbous, full, disseminating moon, third quarter square, balsamic, and then back to the new moon as a way of understanding this sacred divine feminine process. And so the moon is like, that's why I call my whole program like the Moon Goddess Training, is because we can embody this beautiful energy of creation and manifestation through the frequency of the moon. And the other planet that is basically very important in terms of sacred divine feminine energies is Venus. So we're going to dive into Venus, goddess Venus, the mythology. I also like to talk a lot about the mythological stories of the names, where the background, the mythology of the celestial bodies, because they give us a lot of insight into how, you know, what is the theme, the bigger themes that are overlaying and underlaying the energy behind the effect that that specific planet or celestial body has on our chart, on our daily lives, etc. So we're in terms of Venus, we're going to talk about the difference between our natal Venus and our star point Venus, and what Venus phase we were born under, which talks about stepping into Dharma. So from karma to Dharma. Dharma is basically service to humanity, and another way to describe that is our purpose. Well, this is our divine sacred purpose, and it's definitely feminine based, goddess based, and it's found within the phases of Venus. So she's a magnificent planet to study. You could literally like rabbit hole through Venus land and go on and on and on for days and weeks and months and years and you could just study Venus herself and understand a lot of this magic. And it's very extensive. So we're going to cover a lot in a span of 6 weeks, and it's going to be very exciting. And so I wanted to invite you because we do begin August 22nd, which is next Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And when you register, you're going to get entered to win a copy of my book, Seasons and Stargates, your annual astrology guide for 2024 and 2025. So super excited. It's super affordable too. The full price for the class is just $222, and the payment plan is $111 per month for 2 months. So like 2 monthly payments of $111. And so super affordable. Like the last astrology course I ran that was like this, I charged $444. So I've literally cut the price in half so that this can be affordable for like everyone that is interested in taking it, and so that you don't have to wait till like later if you're not ready, or you feel like not 100% able to do that. And I understand, because I know there's like a lot of like economic stuff going on right now. So I totally get it. That's why I wanted to do that for you guys. So hopefully you're really excited about it, and you join us next Thursday. We have like a private space, we have a private chat, we have resources, we have replays. So everything is going to get recorded and uploaded onto the student portal. And that student portal is actually our global community, which is free to create an account. It's totally free, and you can access tons of replays and past events that have already happened, group meditations. I'm actually getting ready to do another group meditation. It's going to be in a minute, but that's going to be also something that you can do for free. And other than that, this is where I host all of my courses, which you can purchase separately, get access to within this space. So definitely create an account, even if you sign up for the class or not. This is your invitation to come join us in our own little like private sort of community that is like a safe space. So, and you get to meet other people from the Channel for Grace community. It's really amazing. So the other class that's happening right now is the Interpreting Astrology School and Mentorship. And this is a year-long class where we're meeting 2 times a month. We had our first lecture, but honestly, you haven't missed much. And it is a school where you can literally learn how to interpret astrology and be guided and mentored by me throughout the process. So please come join us. It's literally $50 a month for the payment plan, or you can pay in full for $600. We're going over the fundamentals of astrology, and then adding on planets, sign, houses, aspects, natal charts, transits, progressions, synastry, relationships, soul contracts in the natal chart, moon cycles, retrogrades, and there's going to be more. We're also going to look at solar return charts, and I love to add things as we go along. So I'm sure there's going to be more than that. We've already talked about looking at our pet astrology. So super excited. Come join us. Again, same giveaway for this astrology school, and super affordable as well. Okay, thank you for letting me share that information. Let's now hop on over to this full moon in Aquarius that is happening on August 19th, 2024 at 27 degrees and 15 minutes of Aquarius. So the moon in Aquarius can be a bit aloof and disconnected, but that is an energy that invites us to be our authentic selves by expressing our uniqueness. We are all different, but we are also all connected. Aquarius can teach us this by experiencing how beautiful it is to have differences. If we were all the same, this would be the shadow frequency of Aquarius expressing itself in the world. Can you be your unique self and allow others to be their unique selves? This is how we usher in the Aquarian age. And by the way, this is directly from my book, Seasons and Stargates, which is out now. You can get your copy. It's the astrology for the entire astrological year through 2025, through basically April 20th of 2025. So, but in general, a full moon will heighten our emotions, make our feelings seem louder, and also call us to not run away from them. Full moons are times of celebration where the culmination of the moon cycle has arrived and we get to see what we have manifested. We're going to look at the aspects in a moment, but just to look at the general energies, if I can expand this part right here, the stargates that this moon is activating are Regulus, which is the heart of the lion. We've got that beautiful masculine energy present. Orion, which is the ninth dimension, connection to the ninth dimension, the Akashic of the universe, and our ancient past lives, ancient Atlantis, also ancient Lemuria, but really the true wisdom that was brought by these ancient star beings. And also Algol, which is Medusa. It is known as the demon star, but I say that almost like jokingly. It's really working with shadow energy, which we've become very accustomed to lately, but it's an activation of transmuting from darkness to light. The chakra that this full moon activates is the third eye chakra, which is all about intuition, tapping into seeing the unseen and hearing the unheard. It's also connected to the law of correspondence, which is as above, so below, the mirroring effect of reality. The system of the body is the nervous system, which is like the communication between your whole body. The brain and the spine are the central nervous system, and then the extension of that the nervous system reaches out to every ending part of our bodies. I'm not using the right terminology, but basically our body communicates through this nervous system and electricity and like pulses of electricity. And this is very Uranus, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which we'll talk about when we look at the chart. But it's a really electrifying energy. And when it happens, it can be like sudden burst of insight and enlightened understanding and awakenings that happen suddenly. And this very nervous system like. But you can also feel, especially if it's a full moon, you can feel the effect of the full moon in Aquarius on the nervous system. And that's usually how I kind of apply these things. If there's something happening in a certain sign, it's going to affect a certain part of our body and chakra. And I love including that information because it helps us to get kind of a more broader perspective on how this energy can affect us. And then the gene key is the 30th gene key. We're going to talk about it. And I'll do a whole separate video about the human design gate, which is, it's the same number, but it's called a gate in human design and where that is found in the chart. But today we're going to focus on the actual astrology. So let us actually hop on over to the chart so I can show you a lot of these energies and what's actually happening. So the way that you can tell if there is a full moon happening is you're going to see that the sun is exactly opposed to the moon, same degree and same minutes, 27 degrees, 15 minutes. This is pretty late into both the signs of Leo and Aquarius. And the later you get in the degrees, the more dense and more mature the energy. So I would say this is a very mature frequency of Aquarius in general. And what are some of the powerful aspects that this moon is making? First, the very first thing to look at is the ruling planet. The ruling planet is actually Uranus. And Uranus is exactly at 27 degrees of Taurus, 1 degree away from the Eagle Star. So this is that first Stargate. The other one is over here with the sun, very close to Regulus. And Orion energy is right here with Mars and Jupiter, which are very close together. They just recently had their conjunction like yesterday or the day before, and it was like, holy shit, such intense energy. I'm losing track of days because I'm traveling, and so it's like, but this week has been so intense. There's like so much going on. So you had Mars conjunct Jupiter, and then you had Mars square Saturn, and now you're having Jupiter square Saturn, which is literally almost right there, almost pretty much exact. It's exact pretty much during this full moon, which is like, oh my God, intensifying that energy as well. And that square is happening from here to here, 17 degrees. So, I mean, like, oh my God, it's almost like too much, right? But the ruling planet is Uranus, and he is at 27 of Taurus, which means that essentially, if I can, let's choose a fun color like this one, and you've got a literal T-square to the opposition of the sun and the moon. And so what does this, which is here's the sun, here's the moon. So what does this mean? It means that the ruling planet is literally squaring this full moon. So what happens when anything makes a square to anything? First of all, it brings up a challenge that needs to be resolved. So then you have to look at what planets, and this is something we're going to dive into in our astrology school, the interpreting astrology school aspects, how to interpret them. The next thing you need to look at is, okay, so what planets are present? So we've got Uranus, which happens to be the ruler of Aquarius, right? The ruler of this moon, which is making a square to the moon and the sun. Uranus squares create like this tension that pushes for change. And it can be sudden change because that's what Aquarius is. Remember those electric pulses of the energy of Aquarius and the nervous system just like pulsing through and creating like, woo, intense, massive, all of a sudden, unexpected change that can feel very uncomfortable. But underneath all that, it's guiding us towards more stability because it's actually in Taurus, and Taurus is about stability. So it's basically like the earth, you know, the earthquakes that have been going on, kind of crazy as well, but it's basically like shaking the earth up so that the change is deeper. The change is beyond, underneath the surface. It's not just surface level stuff that's not going to last. It's deep, lasting change. And Uranus is a planet that is going to be so significant for like years and years and years because Pluto is in Aquarius, gonna go back into Capricorn, but then will finally officially come back into Aquarius and stay in Aquarius for like, I don't know, like 20, 40, like a long ass time. Sorry, I don't remember that kind of information too much. But anyways, I just know it's a long time. Like basically, if you're my age, like for the rest of our lives, Pluto's gonna be in Aquarius. So hello, new world. Hello, technology. Hello, sudden changes to all of humanity. Hello, liberation through awakenings and activations. Hello, crazy energy, you know? It's kind of like that. So Uranus squaring this moon, and this moon being in Aquarius, activates Pluto, activates the moon, activates the Uranus, and activates the sun. And it's also making a square to Mercury, which is like a change in thoughts, sudden insights. All of it is you're working through the challenges. It is fucking rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like this energy is rough AF. Personally in my life, oh my God, it's like friction, you know? So much friction lately, especially with the other squares that are happening. However, if we remember the underlying cause of this friction, is needed change, and change that will help us actually feel like more grounded and stable, but in new ways that we never thought. Like, this is about grace under pressure, and it's also about staying like fully connected to finding new ways of being secure. You'll find security and stability in your life in places that you never even knew could be. Let me give you a real life example. So right now, you guys know I'm in a huge transition happening in my life. We're building a new house. It's slow moving. A lot of unexpected things and challenges have showed up in the building process of the house, and taking longer than expected. And so I'm here like traveling with my husband and going on his trips. Like, he's working right now and I'm working from the car, recording videos, broadcasting the information, like staying up to date, like filming, recording all this stuff for the membership, for like the schools, the classes, like readings that I have to do. It is freaking crazy, but somehow I feel safe. I feel safe, I feel secure, especially today. I feel like I had a breakthrough. And that's another thing about Uranus energy and Aquarius energy, is it can literally, it's a breakthrough. And once the breakthrough happens, it's like it unlocks the DNA, and the expansion, the evolution, the quantum leaps can ultimately happen. Which this is what this energy is all about. We need to trust our heart. Regulus. We need to move from darkness to light. Guru. The shadows to light. And we need to work through any unexpected things that show up in our lives, because the universe is never going to stay the same. Change is the only constant. And right now, change is huge frequency on the planet. Without this change, you're going to have a really hard time with like literally anything in your life. So don't stay stuck. Keep moving forward is a big part of the message of this moon. And then again, we also have the Jupiter square Saturn, which is also another aspect that creates change. But this one is the one that really brings in the frustration, because Saturn restricts and Jupiter wants to expand. They can't both have it their way. And so we want to we want to do the whole like Jupiter thing, but Saturn's like, no. You need to like understand the boundaries of life. You need to understand like that the universe works in a certain way. There is this thing called the laws of the universe. And if you're not aware of them, you're going to have a very hard time. The expansion cannot happen. The expansion happens through the limitation of the third dimension. And that's very present even in human design, in that channel, the channel of mutation, the 360. Like limitation and mutation, like, okay, you can change and expand and grow and do all this sudden stuff, but you can't predict it, You gotta work within the limits. You gotta work within the structures. But this is also divine structure, because that's why I say it's the laws of the universe, because Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces is like the all-expansive infinite universe. So what kind of laws, what kind of restriction does that have? It just means, to me personally, looking at the world through the eyes of God and understanding that like there are laws of the universe. And within those laws, you can create, you can manifest, you can transform, you can change, you can heal. But you can't just do whatever you want, and you can't just do it whenever you want it. You need to pay attention and understand that there are limitations. Like the harder you fight, the more the wall that you hit is gonna hurt more, Like it's gonna be thicker and thicker if you don't understand that concept of right now, that change will happen, expansion is happening, but it's not just like a free-for-all. And so that's why that can feel frustrating, Because it's like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to. But Saturn's like, you need to be mature right now. You need to pay attention. You need to be like an adult. You need to do the adult thing. You need to do the mature thing. You need to make the mature choices. You can't just like go Jupiter on it, even though you want to. But so here's the thing. There is hope for the future. The future is magical. But we need to remember that there are limits right now, but ultimately, like the ultimate goal is expansion. The ultimate goal is understanding deeper. Jupiter's in Gemini, gaining knowledge, gaining insight, gaining clarity, gaining, the ability to communicate your truth better. But it's not just going to happen just because you want it to happen. So you need to have faith and you need to have hope, but you also need fucking reality. And this is a reality check. Like, everyone, it's like Earth to people. What's your name? My name's Jai. Earth to Jai. I'm just going to say random names like Earth to Angela, Earth to Stephanie, whatever your name is, Earth to you. Reality check. Huge changes happening. It's going to happen no matter what. Be patient and understand the reason behind the frustration. It's not because the universe doesn't want to help you. It's because right now we're learning to be mature and we're learning to adult. Even though we should already know how to do that. But trust me, I know you're resisting it because I'm resisting the fuck out of it, dude. I'm like, no, the frustration is real. I just want to, fuck it all, But don't do that. Do the mature thing. Make the mature choice. And that's how the magic will freaking unfold. Sat to the Nam. Okay? That was epic. I'm recording this and I'm really hoping the sound is good. Because I ain't saying that all over again. Okay. So, whoa. Right? Whoa. What else is going on? Look at this. We've got, let's do red. Venus opposed Saturn. Ooh. Ah. And Venus is already uncomfortable in Virgo. She hates that sign. She's in fall position. We get too picky and too critical. It's like, just chill, Things cannot be perfect. It's okay. Just see if you can relax a little bit. You're like, yeah, no, not gonna happen. Plus, Venus is depositing South Node, Libra. And that's karmic, and that's karmic healing. Whoa, this moon is insane. Totally insane. Crazy, wild, all the things. Okay, but it's really powerful, and Aquarius can be enlightening, awakening, all the powerful, like, unique breakthroughs. So I feel like I'm going through the breakthrough. I had a little breakthrough today. It was amazing. And you know what? You know how it happened? Because I adulted. I stopped resisting something that I was completely resisting. And I was doing my old me. I was doing the old me. The old me wanted to ignore it, not deal with it. I wanted to just pretend it didn't exist. And it exists. And I need to adult. And I need to take care of it. It's something that I really needed to take care of. And I was doing the young Jai thing where you think that later or something, it's going to just magically fix itself. It's not going to magically fix itself. So today I adulted and I did the mature thing and I took care of it. And it was really hard for me. And I'm being honest because I didn't really learn how to make important, mature decisions in my life. I was always like shielded and protected, overprotected, where like I didn't know how to do anything in the world. So I had a little, which it's a big breakthrough. I had a breakthrough today, but I feel like there's a bigger breakthrough because I did it, you know? That's how I want you guys to feel. So that's the shiznit right there. Okay. Okay, so now, if you're new, like the broadcast continues, and now I'm gonna read, and some people are like, "No, don't read. Like you spend too much time reading." It's like, no, like this is what I do. So we're gonna add to everything I just talked about through the lens of the gene keys. Every new and full moon, every planet, every degree has a specific gene key that it correlates to. And you will like be so amazed at what the information it adds to everything I just said. So this full moon is happening on the 30th gene key, which is called the celestial fire. It goes from the shadow of desire to the gift of lightness to the city, which is the divine gift or divine frequency of rapture. Desire to lightness to rapture. So let's talk about rapture. Let's talk about this city. From Bhakti to Shakti. The 30th city is an unusual city in that it manifests as one of the great divine ecstatic states. Along with its programming partner, the 29th city, these are aspects of our genetics that really terrify the majority of human beings. In our Western culture, in particular, these kinds of ecstatic states are deeply distrusted, as we no longer have any clear cultural vent for them. In times gone by, it was the ancient shaman who would enter these states of consciousness. Nowadays, the closest we come is through the burgeoning drug and dance culture. We have grown so far away from being a devotional culture, I agree with that we can no longer understand it at all. Certain religions, such as Islam, are rooted in these devotional codes and therefore recognize them more readily, although they have also misinterpreted them just as easily. Or they can also misinterpret them just as easily. The contemporary cult of the suicide bomber is clearly rooted in the lower frequency of the 30th shadow. Here come the triggers. The 30th and 29th cities represent an archetypal stream within your DNA that causes powerful mutations in your endocrine system. These result in an ongoing production of certain rarefied hormones within the brain chemistry of the pineal gland that induce states of great devotion and divine rapture. The 30th city of rapture only occurs when you step willingly into the fires of annihilation. Okay. We may recall that the ancient name for the 30th hexagram of the I Ching is the clinging fire. At the citic level, you dissolve entirely into the fire. Everything about the 30th city looks insane to ordinary waking consciousness. It involves mystical suicide, a complete immersion in the fires of divine longing. You finally give up everything, even the desire to transcend. All desires merge into the one primal desire, the desire with no target, the essence of all creation and the pure longing at the heart of life force itself. There is a mystery here that is carved into our English language and captured in the word belonging. We can only truly belong in the world when when we can utterly be our longing. We can only truly belong in the world when we can utterly be our longing. The state of divine rapture is really akin to being burned by the fires of bliss over and over again. These are people who are so flammable that the smallest thing will set them off, and whoever comes near them will very likely catch their devotional energy. The nature of the mutated solar plexus system, which is where the 30th city lies, is to carry the awareness outside of the physical body through the aura. Thus, the 30th city is what creates the devotees of its programming partner, the 29th city of devotion. These two cities radiate their power and Shakti through the morphogenetic field of the enraptured one. This is why certain teachers and masters can literally transform the hearts of their devotees forever. The aura of such a being is as palpable as it is dangerous. It is dangerous to the human mind that cannot comprehend such a phenomenon and will not let go of trying to be in control. The very lifeblood of this 30th city is about dissolution into the primal chaos of divine frequencies. These cities are not such a common phenomenon in the world. Whenever they erupt, they are often misunderstood. If this were to happen to someone in the West, they would most likely be heavily sedated and locked away. In India, the divine ecstatics and madmen were traditionally given the same treatment and were both revered, since there is a fine line between the two states. Early manifestations of this city and the 29th city can also cause all kinds of difficulties in the human body, since we have not yet evolved to fully carry these extremely high emotional frequencies. In this respect, the 30th city has a particular role to play within the coming evolution of the human solar plexus system, as described in the 55th gene key. The role of the 30th city is literally to burn out all human desire from our DNA. Okay, this means that humans who attain this city are really performing an important genetic task on behalf of the collective. They are allowing their vehicle, their body, to deliberately short-circuit and burn out the collective desire of our past. The perk that goes with this role is that they experience the divine rapture. In the 22nd gene key, there is a detailed description of the 7 subtle bodies of the human aura. The process of transcendence through the 30th gene key directly mirrors the purification of the second astral body and its assimilation into the higher Buddhic body, the 5th body. It is the human longing of the 30th gene key that creates enough bhakti, which is devotion, to catalyze the higher currents of grace from within the higher self. The bhakti is the subtle, fluidic emanation that rises up from this purification of human longing. It is an emanation that reaches up into the Buddhic body and activates its counterpart known as Shakti. Shakti is the divine essence that descends or rains down upon the initiate and causes the state of rapture. Woo! It is the interchange of Bhakti and Shakti that characterizes the 30th city. This is badass. The divine longing expresses Bhakti is an evolutionary force, whereas the divine grace expressed as Shakti is the involutionary force. In the future genetic vehicle of humanity, this 30th city will cease to exist, having deliberately burned itself out. In this sense, it will become redundant. The experience of divine rapture is a genetic anomaly within the evolutionary program for humanity. It has one purpose alone: to kill desire in order that a new awareness can dawn. Interestingly, the 29th city of devotion will not share the same fate as the 30th city, but will go on to form the basis of human relationships and therefore whole communities. In the meantime, all those who have a deep affinity with the 30th gene key will experience certain degrees of this burning within their desires, within their lives. We can easily see it working its way out of humanity at its lower frequencies through all those in whom devotion and rapture are translated into external destruction and devotional fanaticism. The higher your frequency rises, however, the more you must surrender to the divine currents that are waiting to burn you into a higher state of consciousness. Wow, that's very Uranian type of frequency. Wow. So, Bhakti, from Bhakti to Shakti, it's like full ecstatic state. Burning yourself into enlightenment. That's kind of crazy. So, that's what we are dealing with right now. This week is a crazy week astrologically, and there are so many things to think about, to pay attention to move through, to work through. So honestly, like, do your best to like move through the energy, like with consciousness, with awareness, with like a deeper understanding of like, what is it that I need? How can I take care of myself right now? How can I move through this and actually be mature about the things that I need to do and move through this like desire to expand with Jupiter, move through the change with the desire to expand, understanding that there are limits and laws that govern the way that things like manifest. You want something now, but to get to the actual manifestation of it in the three-dimensional time-space reality, time will have to pass before it arrives. However, holding the intention of it creates that manifestation instantly, so that the process of getting there is like locked in. So lock it in and then work really hard to make it happen, to watch it unfold in your life. That's what I'm doing. And I hope that it's what you're doing too, or you're going to start doing now that I said it. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys all so much for being here, for watching this broadcast, for supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting me through this crazy transition that I'm going through. I'm doing my best to try to get all this information out there, continue providing content and all this stuff. And let me tell you, I am learning some crazy intense lessons right now on letting go of control and being okay with what is, moving through what is. And that's the key. So thank you. I hope you enjoy this magical energy, this magical moon. And I hope to see you at our Goddess Astrology School next Thursday, our Aquarian Astrology School and Mentorship, and on Monday night, on the day of the full moon, for our live Akashic reading that I'm going to be doing. So, Sat Nam. I'll see you guys very soon.